Can you get away with using only inexpensive studio strobes, or should you pony up the money for a more expensive flash system? I'm going to go over the differences on today's episode of
Ask David Bergman.
Hey there everyone, welcome back. Here I am, as always, answering your photography questions. If you've got photo questions, you know what to do. Go to AskDavidBergman.com, fill out the form right there on the site. I just might pick your question to answer right here on a future show. Also, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button down below. Use the little bell icon. You'll be notified as soon as new shows come out from myself and the other photo hosts all week long right here on Adorama TV. I'm also doing a new show on my own YouTube channel called From the Vault. I'm looking back through my 30-year archive and pulling images out to tell the behind-the-scenes stories. I'll put the link down in the description below. I hope you will join me over there as well. All right, today's question was sent in from Ben W., and he wants to know, what's the difference between Profoto and Flashpoint lights? Is the price difference worth it? All right, first a reminder, I use the words flash and strobe interchangeably. Don't get hung up on that. They're exactly the same thing. Also in this video, I'm not going to compare specific models like, let's say, the Profoto B10 and the Explorer 300 Pro. There are plenty of videos doing just that. What I'm going to do is give my thoughts in general about using top-of-the-line lighting versus more budget-friendly options. All right, so you might be at the point in your photographic journey where you have some experience with off-camera speedlights and you're ready to get something with more power. What you're looking at are bigger studio strobes, and as you start to go down that rabbit hole, you might get a little overwhelmed with options. There are so many brands now selling strobes that it's kind of hard to compare apples to apples. Ben asked about Flashpoint and Profoto, probably because they're at the opposite ends of the spectrum based on price, but there are so many systems in between, and I'm not discounting any of them. I'm just going to go with the two extremes based on Ben's question. Now, with price varying so wildly, why would you pick one or the other? That's the question of the day, right? First, let's talk about Profoto and why you might use that. Profoto is a Swedish company that's been around a very long time. Their marketing is geared very directly at high-end photographers. This is the top of the line. What makes it so special is that Profoto is known for their build quality. The stuff is built like a tank, and it really needs to be that way because it's expected that this gear is going to get a lot of use. Maybe even every day, moved from location to location, and it's going to be handled by a lot of people. Profoto is crazy reliable. It's probably going to last a very long time, even with that heavy use. As far as the gear itself, it's known for color consistency, so frame to frame, no shifts in color or very slight shifts in color. And also the user interface is particularly easy to use on the system. They also have a fantastic mounting system for light modifiers that's very simple and I think the best in the business. All of these things are great for commercial photo assistants, for example, who might be working with different photographers every day of the week and are going to have no problem jumping right in on a Profoto shoot without having to learn a new system on the fly. Profoto gear is available at rental houses around the world. You can get it really whenever and wherever you need it. And if rental houses are stocking it, rental houses, that gear gets used and abused. So if they've made the choice to use and to stock Profoto, it can handle that kind of wear. Service and repair for your stuff is going to be available in big cities around the world. It's really a mature system since it's been around so long. There are a lot of light modifiers available for Profoto. Some people swear by the quality of light of their modifiers, especially when using something like the Magnum reflector, which is an excellent light modifier. If you watch a behind-the-scenes video of many big commercial or celebrity photo shoots, they're all using Profoto. People like Annie Leibovitz, Albert Watson, Art Streiber, all of them using Profoto on those big, massive shoots when it's really, really important, right? Okay, now let's talk about why you'd use Flashpoint. Price. No question, right? Price is by far the biggest reason someone would choose a system like Flashpoint. Profoto is expensive. You're paying for all of that quality, right? Sometimes it's going to be 3 times the price or more of a comparable Flashpoint unit. Now, Flashpoint is a newer company, but they've come a long way since they started. The quality now is very good, and lately they've been innovating with some new gear that's unlike other options available. A lot of people are buying this stuff because it's a great value for the money. Also, sidebar, if you're in the US, Flashpoint has really great customer service, and they're going to help you out if you need it. And if you're just starting out, that's a great option to have. So, having said all that, how do the Profoto shooters justify the costs? Well, sometimes they can actually bill their clients for equipment rental to offset some of that money. Also, if they're already invested in Profoto gear, it's more likely they're going to stick with that system when buying new stuff. And the uncomfortable truth is that image matters, and some high-end commercial clients are going to respect you more if you're using Profoto gear on a big shoot instead of cobbling together lights from a few different budget brands. Now, I know some of you are going to argue with me on that. You know, we don't have to get into a big fight on it. But I agree that in most cases, only the final image is what matters. But there are big high-end photographers who wouldn't want their clients to see them using what would be considered off-brand equipment. It's probably not an issue for most of us, but that is a reality that is out there. Now, Ben asked if the price difference is worth it. Of course, it depends how you define worth, right? I told you how good the Pro photos are. It's impossible to really quantify how much better something is, but if you can get, let's say, a 10% bump in features and reliability, is that worth 3 times the price? To some people, yeah, it might be, right? It's that one thing that might separate them from everyone else. Why do I use the Canon 1DX Mark III for my concerts and sports instead of the 5D Mark IV, which I also have and use for other things? Both are excellent cameras, and you can absolutely make good concert pictures with either one. But the 1DX3 is going to give me a few extra functions and better build quality that's going to make it worth me paying double the price for that body. A sillier example would be, let's say, a haircut, which I desperately need, and I'm getting next week, by the way. I can spend $500 on a haircut, or I can get one for $50. Is the $500 cut going to be 10 times better? No, right? It might only be 10% better, but that 10% could make a big difference if haircuts were really important to me. A big celebrity going to the Oscars is going to get a $500 cut, or maybe $5,000 cut, right? Because their business depends on them looking good, and they're going to need that haircut. Me, I'm going to stick with the $50 version. But here's the thing. For strobes, I personally don't own Profoto because I'm not doing the amount of commercial work that would justify the expense. The Flashpoint system works great for my needs. When I have a big studio shoot and need more gear, which I occasionally do, I can always rent and, of course, then bill it back to the client. If I shot those types of jobs every week, I would certainly consider buying my own Profoto system. But I think for most people, cost is going to be the primary concern, and you can absolutely make excellent images using the Flashpoint system. So what are you guys shooting with, right? Are you using Profoto or using something less expensive? Are you using Flashpoint? Let me know what you're shooting with and how it's going down in the comments below. Thanks, Ben, for sending in that question. I really appreciate it. Remember, if you have your own photo questions, send them in to me using the forum at AskDavidBergman.com. You know I'm back here every week on Adorama TV with a new question every Monday at 10 a.m. I hope you'll come back next week and check it out right here on Ask David Bergman.